Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2018 Alive Office Hours. Today I will be discussing some new additions to EQuiS 7. We'll be offering an archive of predefined Alive surveys, which contain all of the reference values for each particular survey. These predefined surveys will act as a template for various data collection and will save users a bit of legwork when building these Alive surveys, as opposed to actually having to build these surveys from scratch. These surveys will be available in the Airsoft Community Center and have been granted to us by the courtesy of Canada North Environmental Services, so a big thank you to them. During this office hours, I will demonstrate how to import, customize, and export a predefined survey. Okay, so here is a list of the archive surveys that we currently have. You can see this wide variety of different surveys, everything from benthic invertebrates, electrofishing, short-eared owl, etc. And again, thank you to Canada North for supplying all of these surveys for us. In the top right here, you'll see an example of the predefined survey zip file content. Each one of these text files has reference values unique to each of the surveys. So again, I will be demoing how to import, customize, and export a predefined survey within EQuIS. These steps can also be found within the Alive 7 documentation, which has really been revamped and reflects how much time we've spent on Alive here for the new version. One thing worth mentioning definitely is a new feature that we have in Alive. That feature will be when a survey type is exported using the Edge export feature in the Alive survey definition form. The survey type will automatically be added to DT file and stconfig, and that format will appear in EDP and EDD, or the EDP EDD upload widget in Enterprise. So what that does is really help our users who have, a whole bunch of surveys from having to do all of that work manually. So hopefully everyone enjoys that new feature. So right now I'm actually going to switch over and show you my demonstration. Okay, so to import one of these predefined surveys, we're going to start out with, we'll start out in the EQuIS data processor, also known as EDP. So under the Home tab, just choose a format, and within our EQuIS 7 install folder, we'll choose the Alive Survey XST. Click on that. Currently, I already have this open, so we don't need to actually click on this and open it. So this is already loaded for convenience, as you can see right here. And the next thing we'll do is click on EDD. So here's a list of all of the predefined surveys. For this demonstration, I'll be showing the angling survey. I'll click on that. And what that does now is you can see all these RT tables are now populated with these reference values unique to the survey that I had mentioned. So you can kind of go through and see the RT survey type. It's going to be called the angling survey. Flip through a little bit, see the different parameters, RT parameter that are associated with the survey, and so on and so forth. Taking a look at RT taxonomy. One thing to probably note is that a lot of these surveys, or several of these surveys, have a large group of taxonomy, which maybe a user would not want all of those taxonomy values uploaded to their database. So, you can go through this list, this RT taxonomy list in EDP, and delete any of these taxonomies that you don't feel necessary for maybe that particular survey you're trying to upload. Okay. So from here, now that we have everything loaded into EDP, go into the Professional tab and click on Create. That will create the EDD package. And I already have this uploaded, again, for convenience, to my EQuIS 7 database. So I'm not going to go through this process, but just showing you all how to do this. Then after we've created the package, we'll go to the Commit button, click the drop down, and we recommend using the Insert and Merge feature, just in case you may have some of these reference values in your database already. This will prevent EDP from throwing an error at you. Okay. So now, after we've done that, this is again the import stage for getting this survey into your database. Now, to customize this survey, I'll minimize EDP. And this probably looks familiar. This is the Alive survey definition form. So yeah, to customize this survey, so the angling survey type that I had shown in EDP, and all of these custom fields in survey fields, observation fields, surveyed species, you can see this taxonomy that's been chosen. So what we'll do here is really no rhyme or reason to what I'm about to show you, at least what I'm going to be doing for this particular survey, is just showing you how to customize it. Maybe you want to add a field. Maybe you want to get rid of a field. And this is pretty similar to previous versions of the Alive survey definition form. Okay, so I've toggled a few of those on and off. I'll go into my observation field. And maybe I'll want to add fish number. Maybe I don't want stomach contents or liver weight. Get rid of that. Kidney weight. Okay. So now, survey species, you can get rid of a couple of those maybe. We'll go back and save survey. So now it's been customized how a user may want it customized for their data collection needs. So that's the customization process. So for the exporting process, there are a couple different options that we have. So one option is using the survey type export, which some of you may have seen, maybe not. So again, for convenience and speed of going through this, I've already loaded this, published this to my database. And again, these directions on how to publish this survey type export are in the Alive documentation. So this is available to me under my reports. So what I do is I click on that. Okay. And looking at the survey type export, I already have one open here. I say open another one, so that's why you see two. Anyway, same report. So what I do is I would click on survey type. This is the only one I currently have in my database. If you have a bunch of the survey types, you'll see a list here, all the survey types. Click out of that. Include reference values. So you can see the bottom of the screen. Do you want to import or export Alive reference values? This just refers to RT gender, RT habitat, and RT life stage. So we'll say yes. and we recommend saving as a zip file. So now we have all these parameters selected. I'll click go and wait for this to get exported. And you notice where this zip file gets exported under my EQuIS work, the database, that particular facility, and this is your zip file that was just exported. And you can probably tell that this looks an awful lot like that image from the predefined surveys slide that I had showed previously. So again, this is exactly how Canada North got their surveys exported and to us. So this is a good way to export your surveys between databases. Okay, close out of that. Then the other way to export a survey would be to use the Edge export feature. So this is important because when you export your survey type using the Edge export feature, that saves as a zip file as well, and you can use that zip file as a format for field data collection in Edge. You can also use that Edge export for a form. It can be used as a form template when building a new form in EQuIS Collect. So this really goes to show that how Alive and EQuIS Collect are now integrated. Now this is captured a few images from EQuIS Collect. So there are a few images here at survey level info and observation level info from EQuIS Collect. And in EQuIS Collect, these particular images are taken from the environmental site evaluation predefined survey. So some of these fields may look familiar to some of the Alive users. And that's because they're using that survey, that Edge export as a template in Collect, which is pretty cool. So you can see some of these are hopefully familiar to some of the Alive users. At the observation level, some things that I want to mention here are that we have a photo uploaded, and you can also see these coordinates here. And a couple features that are worth mentioning in Collect is the ability to link survey and observation level info to DT geography. So you can see these coordinates here, which can be linked to and are linked to DT geography. So that is something new here, as well as linking files in the Collect forms using EQuIS, which is also a new feature. And that is my demonstration.
We have a couple questions that came in while you were talking. And the first one came from Carl, and he asked about the new feature which adds the surveys to DT file and stconfig. He said, presumably if we update a survey format, this feature will not update the format stored in DT file and stconfig. And I confirmed with Michal that that is in fact correct. At this time, an existing survey format will not auto-update stconfig and DT file when the Edge export is created. And that, of course, is to preserve the existing surveys and not to break the import format for in-process field data collection. So that's a great question. And then we have another question from Allison asking about that export from the report that was published. And the question was, the RVF now only consists of those tables that you'd mentioned, Caleb. What about the RT lookup for custom parameters? And I also checked with Michal about that, and he clarified that report export feature is only for importing and exporting survey definitions like among databases and not for the field data collection component. Does that make sense?
That's right.
So good questions.
And thank you, everyone who is something I wanted to mention for inputting their feature requests for Alive. We currently have a long list that we're working on, and excited to work on implementing those feature requests. So.
Excellent. I'm waiting a couple of beats to see if anybody else has any questions. I also want to note that I did put in the chat window the links to the collect recordings from the previous office hour a couple of weeks ago. So if you didn't have a chance to see that and attend it live, you could certainly catch up on that information. That'll give you more understanding of what EQuIS Collect is about and the features and functionality and how that compare with Alive.
And one other thing too that I would like to mention is using the survey type export feature. We would like to encourage our clients to start exchanging surveys. I think this would really help our clients with building surveys and creating this archive, facilitating the process.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have a request to take a look at that list of those forms again, so that we can look at it for a little bit longer and see what some of those new pre-built surveys look like.
Sure.
Yeah, that guy. So it looks like they are sometimes specific to a particular animal. We've also got vegetation. What else do we see in there? So a lot of these, it looks like you can, even if it's not for the particular animal that is mentioned or the type of taxonomy or something like that, you can certainly start with that information and then using the reference values that you have in your database, sort of build from that, right?
That's right. Again, if you can, at your own will, add any taxonomy that you'd like to your RT taxonomy table. And when you go to customize one of these surveys, then you can remove and start adding any taxonomy that you have in your database from the RT taxonomy table. So some of these are pretty specific, but the great thing about it is that it is customizable, so you don't have to exactly use one of these particular surveys for data collection. You can customize it how you'd like it and save it how you'd like it and use it how you'd like it.
We do have another question from Allison asking, do these predefined definitions work in Edge 6.x?
I think they should.
I'm not sure if that's been tested.
They were exported from a 6.x, so they should. Yes, I think so. We can test it. If you're Allison, I know you're on 6.5.2. This is something we can test, but I think that should work.
All right. I don't see any other questions. So if there aren't any questions, I do want to take the opportunity to thank Caleb for the presentation. It's really interesting to see all of the new various forms that are going to be available here in EQuIS 7 very soon. It looks like we've got one more, and it's asking what licensing is needed to get these formats. Are they free for Alive users under maintenance?
Yes. If you are an Alive user and you have Alive licenses, then you will be able to download these from the Ursoft Community Center. Also in the Alive 7 documentation, you'll be able to view a list of these predefined surveys as well, with a brief example of what they are, and then go to the community center and download them.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for your time and attention today. If you have future office hour topic suggestions, if you'd like to see particular content covered, please let us know. And if you have any questions or comments that occur to you after the session is over, you can always email us at officehours@ursoft.com. Thanks so much for attending, and we hope you have a wonderful remainder of the day.